Hello my dear 10th standard students, welcome back for today's class, History Unit 8, Nationalism and Gandhian Phase. In this module we are going to discuss about how Gandhiji's struggle for India's independence, Gandhiji's policy of Ahimsa and Satyagraha, the non-cooperation movement and its fallout. Now let me move on to the video session.
History Unit 8 Nationalism Gandhian Phase. Gandhiji's experiments with truth, Ahimsa and Satyagraha in South Africa and his evolution as a mass leader are explained in this lesson. Let me start with the introduction. Mahatma Gandhi arrived in India in 1915 from South Africa after fighting for the civil rights of the Indians. He brought with him a new impulse to Indian politics. He introduced Satyagraha, which he had perfected in South Africa, that could be practiced by men and women, young and old. As a person dedicated to the cause of the poorest of the poor, he instantly gained the goodwill of the masses. Masses means people. The militants confronted the repression of the colonial state violently. Gandhi, in contrast, adopted non-violent methods to mobilize the masses and mount pressure on the British. Gandhi and mass nationalism. Evolution of Gandhi. Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi was born on 2nd October 1869 into a well-to-do family in Porbandar, Gujarat. His father Kaba Gandhi was the Diwan of Porbandar and later became the Diwan of Rajkot. After passing the matriculation examination, Gandhi sailed to England in 1888 to study law. In June 1891, Gandhi returned to India as a firm believer in British sense of justice and fair play. His experiences in London had not prepared him for the racial discrimination he would encounter in South Africa. On returning to India, Gandhi's attempt to practice in Bombay failed. It was during this time that a Gujarati firm in South Africa sought the services of Gandhi for assistance in a lawsuit. Gandhi accepted the offer and left for South Africa in April 1893. Gandhi faced racial discrimination for the first time in South Africa. On his journey from Durban to Pretoria, at the Pietersmaritzburg railway station, he was physically thrown out of the first-class compartment. Indians were treated only as coolies, but Gandhi was determined to fight. Gandhi was introduced to the works of Tolstoy and John Ruskin. He was deeply influenced by Tolstoy's The Kingdom of God is Within You, Ruskin's Undo This Last and Thoreau's Civil Disobedience. Gandhi's ideas were formed due to a blend of Indian and Western thought. Despite being deeply influenced by Western thinkers, he was highly critical of Western civilization and industrialization. Inspired by Ruskin, Gandhi established the Phoenix Settlement 1905 and the Tolstoy Farm 1910. Equality, community living and dignity of labor were inculcated in this settlement. They were training grounds for the Satyagrahis. Satyagraha as a strategy in South Africa. Satyagraha means truthful way. Gandhi developed as a strategy in which campaigners went on peaceful marches and presented themselves for arrest in protest against unjust laws. He experimented with it for fighting the issues of immigration and racial discrimination. Meetings were held and registration offices of immigrants were picked. Even when the police let loose violence, no resistance was offered by the Satyagrahis. Gandhi and other leaders were arrested. Indians, mostly indentured laborers, turned hawkers, continued the struggle despite police brutality. Finally, by the Smuts Gandhi agreement, the poll tax on indentured laborers was abolished. Gandhiji's stay in South Africa was a learning experience for him. It was there that Gandhi realized that people of different religions, regions, linguistic groups could be welded into one to fight against exploitation. After the outbreak of the First World War, Gandhi returned to India. Gandhi's early satyagrahas in India. Gandhi regarded Gopal Krishna Gokhale, whom he had met on previous visit to India, as his political guru. On his advice, Gandhi travelled the length and breadth of the country before plunging into politics. This enabled him to understand the conditions of the people. It is on one of these journeys through Tamil Nadu that Gandhi decided to discard his following robes and wear a simple dhoti. Gandhi, before returning to India, visited England, where he enlisted for the war to offer ambulance services. Considering himself a responsible citizen of the empire, he believed that it was his duty to support England in its difficult times, and even campaigned for the recruitment of Indians in the army. However, his views changed over the years. Chamberan Satyagraha. In Chamberan in Bihar, the Tinkatiya system was practiced. Under this exploitative system, the peasants were forced by the European planters to cultivate indigo on 3/20th of their land holdings. Towards the end of 19th century, German synthetic dyes had forced indigo out of the market. The European planters of Chamberlain, while realizing the necessity of relieving the cultivators of the obligation of cultivating indigo, wanted to turn the situation of their advantage. They enhanced the rent and collected illegal dues as a price for the release of cultivators from the obligation. Resistance erupted. Rajkumar Shukla, an agriculturist from Chamberlain, who suffered hardship of the system, prevailed on Gandhi to visit Chamberlain. On reaching Chamberlain, Gandhi was asked by the police to leave immediately. When he refused, he was summoned for trial. The news spread like wildfire, and thousands swarmed the place in support of Gandhi. Gandhi pleaded guilty of disobeying the order, and the case had to be finally withdrawn. According to Gandhi, the country thus had its first object lesson in civil disobedience. He was assisted by Braj Kishore Prasad, a lawyer by profession, and Rajendra Prasad, who became the first president of independent India. The lieutenant governor eventually formed a committee with Gandhi as a member, which recommended the abolition of the Tinkatiya system, thereby ending the oppression of the peasants by the indigo planters. The success of Chamberlain Satyagraha, followed by his fruitful intervention in Ahmedabad, Mill Strike 1918 and the Kheda Satyagraha 1918, helped Gandhi establish himself as a leader of mass struggle. Unlike earlier leaders, Gandhi demonstrated his ability to mobilize the common people across the country. Rowlatt Satyagraha and Jallianwala Bagh Massacre. Massacre means attack. In the aftermath of the First World War, people expected liberal political reforms from the British. The Government of India Act 1919, however, caused disappointment as it did not transfer real power to the Indians. Besides, the government began to enforce the permanent extension of wartime restrictions. The Rowlatt Act was enacted, which provided for excessive police powers, arrest without warrant, and detention without trial. Detention means explanation. Gandhi called it a Black Act and in protest called for a nationwide satyagraha on 6th April 1919. It was to be a non-violent struggle with fasting and prayer, and it was the earliest anti-colonial struggle spread across the country. The anti-Rowlatt protest was intense in Punjab, especially in Amritsar and Lahore. Gandhi was arrested and prevented from visiting Punjab. On 9th April, two prominent local leaders, Dr. Saifuddin Kichliu and Dr. Satyapal, were arrested in Amritsar, leading to protests in which a few Europeans were killed. Martial law was declared. General Dyer's brutality. Brutality means cruelty. On 13th April 1919, a public meeting was arranged at Jallianwala Bagh in Amritsar, as it happened to be Baisakhi Day. Baisakhi Day means Spring Harvest Festival of Sikhism. The villagers had assembled there in thousands. General Dyer, on hearing of the assemblage, surrounded the place with his troops and an armoured vehicle. The only entrance to the park that was surrounded on all sides by high walls was blocked, and firing took place without any warning. The firing lasted for 10 minutes till the troops ran out of ammunition. According to official estimates, 379 were killed and more than 1,000 injured. Unofficial estimates put the toll at more than 1,000. After the incident, martial law was declared, and many people in the Punjab, especially Amritsar, were flogged and forced to crawl on the streets. The brutality enraged Indians. Rabindranath Tagore returned his knighthood. Gandhi surrendered his Kaiser-i-Hind medal. Khilafat movement. The First World War came to an end in 1918. The Caliph of Turkey, who was considered the head of Muslims of the world, was given a harsh treatment. A movement was started his support called the Khilafat movement, led by the Ali brothers Maulana Muhammad Ali and Maulana Shaukat Ali. It aimed to restore the prestige and power of the Caliphate. Gandhi supported the movement and saw it as an opportunity to unite Hindus and Muslims. He presided over the All India Khilafat Conference held at Delhi in November 1919. Gandhi supported Shaukat Ali's proposal of three national slogans, Halo Akbar, Bande Mataram and Hindu Musliman Ki Jai. The Khilafat Committee meeting in Allahabad on 9 June 1920 adopted Gandhi's non-violent non-cooperation program. Non-cooperation was to begin on 1st August 1920. Non-cooperation movement and its fallout. The Indian National Congress approved the non-cooperation movement in a special session held in Calcutta on September 1920. It was subsequently passed in the Nagpur session held on December 1920, chaired by Salem C. Vijayaraghavacharya. The program of non-cooperation included surrender of all titles of honors and honorary officers, non-participation in government functions, and suspension of practice by lawyers, settlement of court disputes by private arbitration, boycott of government schools by children and parents, boycott of the legislature created under the 1919 Act, non-participation in government parties and other official functions, refusal to accept any civil or military post, boycott of foreign goods and spreading the doctrine of Swadeshi. No Tax Campaign and Chauri Chaura Incident. Programs such as No Tax Campaigns caught the imagination of the Kisans, that is peasants. Gandhi announced a No Tax Campaign in Bardoli in February 1922. These movements greatly enhanced Gandhiji's reputation as a national leader, especially the peasants. On 5th February 1922, a procession of the nationalists in Chauri Chaura, a village near Gorakhpur in present-day Uttar Pradesh, provoked by the police turned violent. The mob burned the police station. Mob means people. 22 policemen lost their lives. Gandhi immediately withdrew the movement. This was done much against the wishes of many congressmen, including young leaders like Jawaharlal Nehru and Subhash Chandra Bose, who thought the movement was gaining momentum. Gandhi was arrested and was released only in 1924. Gandhi believed that the movement failed not because of any defect in the means employed with non-violent non-cooperation, but because of lack of sufficiently trained volunteers and leaders. Swarajist. Congress was divided into two groups, pro-changes and no-changes. Some of the congressmen led by Motilal Nehru and C.R. Das. Motilal Nehru is father of Jawaharlal Nehru, wanted to contest the election and enter the legislature. They argued that the national interest could be promoted by working in the legislative council under diarchy and breaking the colonial government within. Diarchy means a system of dual government. They were called the pro-changers. Staunch followers of Gandhi like Vallabhbhai Patel and C. Rajaji, known as no-changers, wanted to continue non-cooperation with the government. Despite the opposition, C.R. Das and Motilal Nehru formed the Swaraj Party on 1st January 1923, which was later approved by a special session of the Congress. However, death of its leader C.R. Das in 1925, some of the Swaraj Party members began to accept government offices. Swaraj Party withdrew from the legislature in 1926. Constructive program of Gandhi. After the Chauri Chaura incident, Gandhi felt that the volunteers and the people had to be trained for a non-violent struggle. As a part of this effort, he focused on promoting Khadi. Khadi is a dress made by Indians. Hindu-Muslim unity and the abolition of untouchability, he exhorted the congressmen, go throughout your district and spread the message of Qadar, the message of Hindu-Muslim unity, the message of anti-untouchability, and take up in hand the youth of the country and make them the real soldiers of Swaraj. He made it compulsory for all Congress members to wear Qadar. The All India Spinners Association was formed. The 1920s saw a series of communal riots between the Hindus and the Muslims. The Hindu Mahasabha was gaining in popularity under Madan Mohan Malaviya and the Muslim League under the Ali brothers. Gandhi undertook a 21-day fast in between 1924 to appeal to the hearts of the Hindus and Muslims involved in communal politics. Serious efforts by Gandhi and Muhammad Ali Jinnah, who at that time believed Swaraj was possible only with Hindu-Muslim unity, failed to stem the communal riots. Boycott of Simon Commission. On 8 November 1927, the British government announced the appointment of the Indian Statutory Commission. Composed of 7 members headed by Sir John Simon, it came to be widely known as the Simon Commission. It was an all-white commission with no Indian member. Indians were angered that they had been denied the right to decide their own constitution. All sections of India, including the Congress and the Muslim League, decided to boycott the commission. Wherever the commission went, there were protests and black flag marches with the slogan, "Go back Simon." The protesters were brutally assaulted by the police. In one such assault in Lahore, Lal Lajpat Rai was seriously injured and died a few days later. Nehru Report. The Simon boycott united the different political parties in India. An all-party conference was held in 1928 with the objective to frame a constitution for India as an alternative to the Simon Commission proposals. A committee under the leadership of Motilal Nehru was formed to outline the principles on the basis of which the constitution was to be drafted. The committee's report, known as the Nehru Report, recommended dominion status for India, elections of the central legislature and the provincial legislatures on the basis of joint and mixed electorates, reservation of seats for Muslims in the central legislature and in provinces where they are in a minority, and for the Hindus in northwest frontier province where they were in a minority, provision of fundamental rights and universal adult franchise. Struggle for Purna Swaraj and launch of civil disobedience movement. In the Congress session held in Lahore in December 1929 with Jawaharlal Nehru as the president, Purna Swaraj was declared as the goal. It was also decided to boycott the Round Table Conference and launch a civil disobedience movement. 26 January 1930 was declared as Independence Day, and a pledge was taken all over the country to attain Purna Swaraj, that is, non-violently through civil disobedience, including non-payment of taxes. The Indian National Congress authorized Gandhi to launch the movement. Salt Satyagraha movement, a charter of demands presented to the Viceroy Lord Irwin with an ultimatum to comply by 31st January 1930 included reduction of expenditure on army and civil service by 50%, introduction of total prohibition, release of all political prisoners, reduction of land revenue by 50%, abolition of salt tax. Salt was an issue which affected every section of the society. At the age of 61, Gandhi covered a distance of 241 miles in 24 days to reach Dundee at sunset on 5th April 1930. The next morning, he took a lump of salt, breaking the salt law. Round Table Conferences. The first Round Table Conference was held at London in November 1930. Ramsay MacDonald, the British Prime Minister, proposed a federal government with provincial autonomy. There was a deadlock over the question of separate electorates for the minorities. The Congress did not attend it as its leaders were in jail. The conference closed without any decisions on the question. It was clear that without Congress participation, the discussions were of no value. Gandhi was released unconditionally. Gandhi-Irwin Pact. Lord Irwin held talks with Gandhi, which resulted in the Gandhi-Irwin Pact on 5th March 1931. The British agreed to the demand of the immediate release of all political prisoners not involved in violence, return of confiscated land and lenient treatment of government employees who had resigned. The Congress agreed to suspend the civil disobedience movement and attend the conference. Gandhi attended the second Round Table Conference, which began on 7th September 1931. Gandhi refused to accept separate electorates for minorities. As a result, the second conference ended without any result. Renewal of civil disobedience movement. On returning to India, Gandhi revived the civil disobedience movement. This time the government was prepared to meet the resistance. Martial law was enforced with Gandhi and was arrested on 4th January 1932. Soon all the Congress leaders were arrested too. Protest and picketing by the people were suppressed with force. Nearly 80,000 people were arrested within 4 months. The nationalist press was completely gagged. Despite government's repressive measures, it is worth mentioning here that the movement continued till April 1934. In the meantime, the third Round Table Conference was held from 17th November to 24th December 1932. The Congress did not participate in the conference as it had revived the civil disobedience movement. Communal Award and Pune Pact. On 16th August 1932, Ramsay MacDonald announced the Communal Award. It provided separate electorates to the minorities, that is, Muslims, Sikhs, Indian Christians, Anglo-Indians and women, and the depressed classes. Gandhi strongly opposed the inclusion of depressed classes in the list of minorities. After intense negotiation, an agreement was arrived between Gandhi and Ambedkar, known as the Pune Pact. Its main terms were the principle of separate electorates was abandoned. Instead, the principle of joint electorate was accepted with the reservation of seats for the depressed classes. Reserved seats for the depressed classes were increased from 71 to 148. In the central legislature, 18% of the seats were reserved. Campaign against untouchability. Gandhi devoted the next few years towards abolition of untouchability. His engagement with Dr. B.R. Ambedkar made a big impact on his ideas about the caste system. He shifted his base to the Satyagraha Ashramam at Varda. He undertook an all-India tour called the Harijan Tour. He started the Harijan Sevak Sangh to work for the removal of discriminations. He worked to promote education, cleanliness and hygiene and giving up of liquor among the depressed class. He also undertook two fasts in 1933 for this cause. An important part of the campaign was the temple entry movement. 8th January 1933 was observed as Temple Entry Day. The work among the depressed class and the tribals took the message of nationalism to the grassroots. Beginnings of socialist movements. Inspired by the Russian Revolution of 1917, the Communist Party of India was founded at Tashkent, Uzbekistan in October 1920. M.N. Roy, Abani Mukherjee and M.P.T. Acharya were some of its founding members. The British government in India made vigorous effort to suppress the communist movement by fostering a series of cases in the 1920s. In a further attempt to eliminate the threat of communism, M.N. Roy, S.A. Dange, Muzaffar Ahmad, M. Singaravelar, among others were arrested and tried in the Kanpur conspiracy case of 1924. Conspiracy means against the nation. The charge on them was to deprive the King Emperor of his sovereignty of British India by complete separation of India from imperialistic Britain. Foundation of Communist Party. The Communists used it as a platform to propagate their views and to expose the true color of British rule in India. In an attempt to form a party, an All India Communist Conference was held at Kanpur in 1925. Singaravelar gave the presidential address. It led to the founding of the Communist Party of India in Indian soil. The Communists organized workers and peasants' organization in different parts of India. A number of strikes were organized in the 1920s. Their efforts eventually led to the establishment of All India Workers and Peasants Party in 1928. The progress in this direction was halted with the Meerut conspiracy case in 1929. Revolutionary activities. The youth were disillusioned with the sudden withdrawal of the non-cooperation movement by Gandhi took to violence. In 1924, Hindustan Republican Army was formed in Kanpur to overthrow the colonial rule by an armed rebellion. Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev and their comrades reorganized the Hindustan Republican Army in Punjab. Influenced by socialist ideas, they renamed it as Hindustan Socialist Republican Association in 1928. Sanders, a British police officer responsible for the Lathi charge that led to Lala Lajpat Rai's death, was assassinated. Assassinated means killed. Bhagat Singh, along with the B.K. Dutt, threw a smoke bomb inside the Central Legislative Assembly in 1929. It was not intended to hurt anyone. Bhagat Singh's daring and courage fired the imagination of the youth across India, and he became popular across India. Left movement in the 1930s. The effects of depression were reflected in decline in trade returns and fall in agricultural prices. The governmental measures included forcible collection of land revenue, which in real terms had increased twofold due to 50% fall in agricultural prices. The withdrawal of money in circulation, retrenchment of staff, and expenditure on developmental works. In this context, the Communist Party, fighting for the cause of peasants and industrial workers hit by loss of income and wage reduction and problems of unemployment, gained influence and was therefore banned in 1934. There was a constant struggle between the right and left in the Congress during the 1930s. In 1934, the Congress Socialist Party was formed by Jayaprakash Narayanan, Acharya Narendra Dev and Mainu Masani. They believed that nationalism was the path to socialism and that they would work within the Congress. They worked to make Congress pro-peasant and pro-worker. First Congress Ministries under Government of India Act 1935. The Government of India Act 1935 was one of the important positive outcomes of the civil disobedience movement. The key features of the Act were provincial autonomy and hierarchy at the centre. The Act provided for all India Federation with 11 provinces, 6 Chief Commissioners provinces and all those princely states which wished to join the Federation. All the subjects were transferred to the control of Indian ministers. The hierarchy that was in operation in provinces was now extended to the central government. The franchise based on property was extended, though only about 10% of the population enjoyed the right to vote. By this act, Burma was separated from India. Congress ministries and their work. The Government of India Act 1935 was implemented with the announcement of election in 1937. The Congress immensely benefited because of the civil disobedience movement. The Congress called off its program of boycott of legislature and contested elections. It emerged victorious in 7 out of the 11 provinces. It formed ministries in 8 provinces: Madras, Bombay, Central Provinces, Orissa, Bihar, United Provinces, Northwest Frontier Province. The Congress ministries functioned as a popular government and responded to the needs of the people. Legislative measures were adopted for reducing indebtedness of the peasantry and improving the working conditions of the industrial labor. Temple entry legislation was passed. Special attention was paid to education and public health. Developments leading to Quit India movement. Individual Satyagraha. In August 1940, Viceroy Linlithgow made an offer in return for Congress support for the war effort. However, the offer of dominion status in an unspecified future was not acceptable to the Congress. The objective was to convey to the world that though India was opposed to Nazism, it did not enter the war voluntarily. Vinoba Bhai was the first to offer Satyagraha on 17th October 1940. The Satyagraha continued till the end of the year. During this period, more than 25,000 people were arrested. Cripps Mission. On 22nd March 1942, the British government sent a mission under Cabinet Minister Sir Stafford Cripps as the Japanese knocked on the doors of India. The Cripps mission offered grant of dominion status after the war. Indian princes could sign a separate agreement with the British, implying the acceptance for the demand of Pakistan. British control of defence during the war. Both the Congress and the Muslim League rejected the proposal. Gandhi called the proposal as a post-dated check on a crashing bank. Do or die call by Gandhi. The All India Congress Committee that met at Bombay on 8 August 1942 passed the famous Quit India resolution demanding an immediate end to British rule in India. Gandhi gave a call to do or die. Gandhi said, "We shall either free India or die in the attempt. We shall not live to see the perpetuation of our slavery." A non-violent mass struggle under Gandhi was to be launched, but early next morning on 9th August 1942, Gandhi and the entire Congress leadership was arrested. Role of Socialist. With Gandhi and other prominent leaders of the Congress in jail, the Socialists provided the leadership for the movement. Jayaprakash Narayan and Ramnath Mishra escaped from prison and organized an underground movement. Women activists like Aruna Asaf Ali played a heroic role. Usha Mehta established Congress Radio Underground, which successfully functioned till November 1942. British used all its might to suppress the revolt. Thousands were killed and machine guns and in some cases airplanes were used to throw bombs. Collective fines were imposed and collected with utmost rigor. Rigor means carefully. Gandhi commenced a 21-day fast in February 1943, which nearly threatened his life. Finally, the British government relented. Gandhi was released from jail in 1944. Subhash Chandra Bose and INA. INA means Indian National Army. Subhash Chandra Bose, who had left the Congress, was now under house arrest. He wanted to strike British hard by joining its enemies. Bose reorganized it into 3 brigades: Gandhi Brigade, Nehru Brigade and Women's Brigade, named after Rani of Jhansi. Subhash Chandra Bose formed the Provisional Government of Free India in Singapore. He gave the slogan Dilli Chalo. INA was deployed as part of the Japanese forces. However, the defeat of Japan stopped the advance of INA. The airplane carrying Subhash Chandra Bose crashed, bringing to an end his crusade for freedom. The British government arrested the INA officers and put them on trial in the Red Fort. The trial became a platform for nationalist propaganda. They were released due to public pressure. The INA exploits and the subsequent trials inspired the Indians. Towards freedom, Royal Indian Navy revolt. The Royal Indian Navy ratings revolted at Bombay in February 1946. It soon spread the other stations, involving more than 20,000 ratings. Similar strikes occurred in the Indian Air Force and the Indian Signal Corps at Jabalpur. Thus, the British hegemonic control ceased even in the armed forces. Despite the victory in the war, it left the British completely weak. British surrender in Southeast Asia to the Japanese was a big blow to imperial prestige. All the political leaders were released and the ban on conquest was lifted. Cabinet mission. In Britain, the Labour Party had won a landslide victory and Clement Attlee became the Prime Minister. He declared that he wanted to transfer power at the earliest. He sent a cabinet mission comprising Pethick Lawrence, Sir Strafford Cripps, and A.V. Alexander. Rejecting the demand for Pakistan, it provided for a federal government with control over defence, communications, and foreign affairs. The provinces were divided into three groups with non-Muslim majority provinces, Muslim majority provinces in the northwest, and the Muslim majority provinces in the northeast. A constituent assembly was to be elected and an interim government set up with representation for all the communities. The Congress and the Muslim League accepted the plan. However, both interpreted it differently. The Congress wanted the division of the provinces to be temporary, while the Muslim League wanted it to be a permanent arrangement. Mountbatten Plan. Lord Mountbatten was sent as Viceroy to India with the specific task of transfer of power. On 3rd June 1947, the Mountbatten Plan was announced. It proposed power would be transferred on the basis of dominion status to India and Pakistan. Princely states would have to join either India or Pakistan. Boundary Commission was to be sent up under Radcliffe Brown and the award would be announced after the transfer of power. Punjab and Bengal legislative assemblies would vote on whether they should be partitioned. Independence and partition. The Mountbatten Plan was given effect by the enactment of the Indian Independence Act on 18 July 1947 by the British Parliament. The Act abolished the sovereignty of the British Parliament over India. India was partitioned into two dominions, India and Pakistan. On 15 August 1947, India won independence. Now let me go through a short recap. Gandhiji's experiments with truth, Ahimsa and Satyagraha in South Africa and his evolution as a mass leader are explained. His call for non-cooperation, civil disobedience and quit India movements and the fallout of these mass struggles in the form of legislation such as Government of India Act 1919 and Government of India Act 1935 and Independence Act 1947 are detailed. Role played by socialists and communists and revolutionaries represented by Bhagat Singh, Subhash Chandra Bose and outcome of their activities are highlighted. Use of religion for political mobilization by Hindu Mahasabha and Muslim League leading to partition is discussed. Dear students, don't waste your time, learn book back exercise and take care of yourself. Bye bye.